Welcome to my YouTube channel History Through Times.
Are you waiting for my next video? Well, it's finally here. I've been working day and night, researching, editing, scripting, to bring you something real, something that shows the truth hidden behind headlines. Before we dive into today's crisis, let's take a flashback, a journey through the world's greatest wars. World War I, 1914 to 1918, over 20 million dead. World War II, 1939 to 1945, the world in flames. Cold War, spies, nukes, and walls dividing nations. Afghan-Soviet War, the mountains of Afghanistan turned red. War on Terror, a generation lost. But today the tension isn't in Europe or the Pacific. It's right here, between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Reports of cross-border firing, civilians displaced, soldiers martyred, lives shattered. The recent clashes have once again lit the fire that never truly died. This isn't just politics, it's lived every single day. A border that bleeds. Real lives caught in the crossfire. We won't shy away from hard facts. We'll talk about the groups that fuel violence and the official statements that shape what you hear. But we always return to the people, between hope and fear. It demands our empathy. Forget what you think you know. Open your mind to a more complex reality. Even in darkness, hope survives. So, let's begin. This is the story of Pakistan and Afghanistan, and why the past still echoes through today. Chapters in the same long, painful book. To understand today, you have to look at yesterday. To understand today, you have to look at yesterday. Think of the Great War, World War I. Cities turned to ash, nations torn apart, a global chess game, proxy fights far from Moscow and Washington. Afghanistan became one of the most brutal battlegrounds. It flooded the region with weapons and hardened ideology. The world turned back to Afghanistan and its border with Pakistan. The border itself is at the heart of the problem, the Durand Line. Drawn in 1893 by a British diplomat and signed with the Afghan ruler. It cuts through some of the world's most rugged terrain, mountains, deserts, and people. The Pashtun people were split. Millions live on the Pakistani side. For generations, they crossed to visit, trade, work. But porosity breeds smuggling and militant corridors. Groups exploit gaps in control to move and find safe havens. Afghanistan has never formally recognized the Durand Line as a permanent border. Pakistan considers it settled, investing heavily to fence and secure it. Decades of war sent waves of refugees, straining services, and politics. In August 2021, Kabul fell. After 20 years of insurgency, the Afghan Taliban returned to power. The US and allies withdrew. The long war ended. Hopes for stability faded as old disputes reignited. Afghanistan's economy collapsed. Aid dried up, control frayed. The new rulers faced rivals like ISIS-K and internal divisions. Overnight, crossings turned chaotic. Informal economies broke. The change in Kabul didn't end conflict. It began a new chapter. To grasp the present, we must examine the militants, the messaging, and the people. Because beyond politics, every life lost matters. This is not just news, this is humanity. Next, the TTP and the ISPR, and how attacks and narratives collide at the border. There is a key player in this conflict that operates in the shadows, the Taliban Pakistan, or TTP. Distinct from the Afghan Taliban, yet with shared ideology and historical roots. Formed in 2007, the TTP seeks to overthrow Pakistan's government and impose a strict code. They've claimed some of Pakistan's most horrific attacks. They leverage terrain and weak control to build hideouts and train. Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of failing to stop TTP's safe havens, especially after 2021. Instead of shrinking, the threat surged. Attacks intensified inside Pakistan. Villages become battlegrounds. Neighbors become suspects. Information is a weapon. In Pakistan, the ISPR is the military's voice. It issues statements, holds briefings, and releases images and videos. When strikes occur inside Afghanistan, ISPR frames them as intelligence-based operations against TTP hideouts. It personalizes sacrifice, soldiers martyred, to rally public support. Kabul condemns strikes as violations of sovereignty and disputes TTP presence. A war of words ensues. ISPR's narrative is key, but not the entire picture. It often starts small. A reported cross-border attack on a Pakistani post, with the TTP claiming it. Pakistan's patience wears thin. At dawn, jets roar across the line. Explosions rock the ground. ISPR announces intelligence-based anti-terror ops targeting TTP sanctuaries. Afghan authorities counter, strikes hit civilians, not militants. Images of mourning spread, anger rises. Retaliation follows. The border becomes a battlefield. Families run, schools and markets shut. Fear grips the frontier. Each side claims defense against aggression, a tragically familiar cycle. Attack, response, escalation, repeat. Who suffers most? Not decision makers in capitals, but ordinary people. The guns speak, and lives shatter in the noise. History, politics, poverty, a web of interlocking forces. First, the disputed Durand Line, recognition versus security. Second, militant safe havens. The TTP exploits porous ground. One side's security move is the other's provocation. Third, politics and recognition. Isolation fuels escalation. Finally, economic despair, fertile ground for recruitment and resentment. Refugees, smuggling, scarcity, everything entangled. Yet even here, compassion survives. I'm not just telling a story, I'm showing reality. The pain, the politics, and the people behind the headlines. When the guns fall silent, what's left is human suffering. The cost, lost lives, shattered dreams, faces of families forced to flee with nothing. Children who can no longer go to school. No strategic objective is worth a mother's grief. Yet there are glimmers of hope in ordinary kindness. Calls for calm after clashes. People lighting candles and praying for peace. They share culture, faith, and the same desire for peace. What's needed? Commitment to truth and care. Humanitarian needs must be met. Aid must reach the displaced. The injured must be treated. Leaders must find the courage to talk, to de-escalate, to protect lives over posturing. This is not just news. This is humanity. Look beyond the headlines. Remember the names of the lost. Work to protect the living. The path to peace is long. It begins with empathy over anger, dialogue over destruction, care over conflict. As I finish this documentary, I'm working hard to bring you the truth, not sides. Because beyond politics, every life lost matters. This is not just news. This is humanity. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The next story might change how you see the world.